Hello, this is John with Brainstorm Comics and Gaming, and this is this week's Turn in the Page. This week I am here with Chris. Where is the love? He's in Brunswick, Maryland at American Tattoo. So if you're looking for a tattoo, contact him on his Instagram. What's your Instagram again, sir?
Christopher Love Tattooer.
And they cannot just walk in. They must set up an appointment with you because your time is valuable.
Everyone's time is valuable.
So we will turn to our first topic. So let's start with topic number one. Chris,
let's do it.
Scott Snyder made waves in the industry by signing an 8-book deal with Amazon's Comixology, jumping into bed with the astronaut Jeff Bezos.
Going to space.
Does this change the course of the comic book industry as we know it?
Revolutionize it, according to Mr. Snyder.
Maybe Jeff will take him into space with him.
Epic love letter to himself, it seems like. His opus to all that is Scott Snyder-ish, all 8 books of it. Yeah, I mean, it's Scott Snyder doing Scott Snyder, I guess.
My favorite quote was, "It's going to be as bombastic and over the top as I normally am, but character driven."
Character driven. And I love how they're like shoving old Greg Capullo in there too, like with this longtime collaborator, Greg Capullo. If you like look at the issue that he's hyped on, like the book he's hyped on, there's another artist on it, so he's not even going to do the art for the full run on it. I did kind of like how he kind of touts the whole, you can read it through the Comixology subscription service, so you don't have to pay for the books, you just pay for your $5 a month subscription. So like trying to make it more available for people who don't necessarily have the money to buy 1 million books a week. That's cool. It's also done already. Like it's not, I feel like Marvel does that, DC does it. Like there's a ton of ways to get comics online now.
The wrong way, but continue.
The wrong way, yeah. I mean, totally. But there are people who like to read books online. I can't,
No, I'm joking. There's some people who don't have LCS.
Sure,
some people
yeah.
who don't have
like,
the space for books.
It's definitely cool to like hold something in your hand and read it for sure. Looking at the solicits for the books, I could say that there really isn't anything that I'm super duper hyped on. I guess it's just Scott Snyder doing Scott Snyder. I don't know. If you're a Scott Snyder fan, you'll probably like it a whole lot. I don't know if I'm going to.
The We Have Demon ones was probably the one that I found the most interesting, but probably because Greg Capullo is doing the art on it. Another good thing about this one is that Dark Horse is going to print them afterwards. They're going to do the print versions of them. So if you don't have Comixology or if you do want to collect them, there is going to be that option later on. I will also say the roster of artists that he is collaborating with is absolutely astounding.
Yep.
Raphael Albuquerque, Francesco Francavilla, Jamal Igle, Jacques Tula-Lotte, Francis Manipul, and Dan Panosian.
The book that Jock's on, actually, out of all of them, kind of looked.
But that's not a comic book. That one's a novel that he's doing illustrations for.
Yeah, that was the only one that really like piqued my interest. I feel like.
I don't even know whether it's a novel or whether it's a short story,
a novella or something. Yeah, I'm not. It was not very clear.
Scott Snyder doesn't strike me as a novelist. No offense to Scott Snyder.
He doesn't to me either. I mean, like good on him. Congratulations. I like that. I don't know. I did like how he was. He wants to make it like very creator driven, even though he's the creator, which is kind of weird to me.
Well, that was another good thing. That he gets all the reps and everything. Like if it turns into a movie, like he gets all the he and the artist get the profits. Starts in October, so there's a lot of horror titles because of that. Like I said, they retain the rights on it, so he said that this is like a real push for creator rights. Now, Image is already out there, so I don't know how much that's.
Yeah, really... it felt very much like I'm just gonna do what Image did, which is cool. I did the one thing that he did say that kind of, I don't know if it piqued my interest, but it made me kind of cock my eyebrow a little bit. Was he said how thirsty the entertainment industry is for
original
comic related kind of things, and how all these streaming services are clamoring for it now, which I feel is kind of true, kind of to the detriment a little bit. I feel like everything that comes out now that seems to have a decent premise is optioned for a show or a movie.
Well, it also seems like a lot of books are just written to be like spec for movie studios or Amazon or or what have you. And that's another thing. You get first look at all the
Right.
all the books.
And he was very clear about like Amazon does get a first look, but they don't have exclusivity rights to anything. I can say no. I can say no to anybody. So I think that's cool. I think I would have backed it a little harder and been a little more on board with it if he didn't kind of tout it as this like creator driven opportunity for this, that, and the other thing, and it wasn't just all him.
So
you know what I mean?
I do hope that this reinvigorates Scott Snyder. I feel like for the last 5-6 years, he's kind of gone off the rails. He's started believing his own hype and maybe not had as strict of an editor as he used to. And some people think like I hate Scott Snyder. Black Mirror, I think, was one of the best things I've ever read in comics. And even his early run in New 52 on Batman, I thought was really, really good. But there was a turning point about halfway through it that I feel like I said, editors were like, "Oh, he's Scott Snyder. We can't tell him what to do."
I think he suffered from that too big for his own britches kind of deal.
Yeah,
maybe that's the wrong, way to say it, but I agree. I think that he was just kind of left to his own devices, and there really wasn't a whole lot of editorial input. And some of his later works.
And some people can handle that, and some can't.
Sure,
and I don't know. I feel like he's still a good storyteller. Sure. I think he has things to.
Yeah, like I think Scott at his worst is still better than a lot of other things. So you've got that, but.
Yeah. And if you haven't read Black Mirror,
read it now. Like go get it.
I know I pushed you to read that one not too long ago. And
yeah, if you like Batman at all, read that.
If you like creepy stuff.
That's an amazing story. I will die on that hill. I'll argue that constantly. Yeah, that's.
And then you'll talk forever about the diner.
The diner scene. Oh man, that gave me like all the feels. I told you I went to bed sad after reading that. Like read it before I went to sleep and had like nightmares. It was terrible, but in a great way. Yeah.
So you agree that was probably one of his best things that he's.
Yeah, for sure. And in my eyes, it was his best, but.
Well, we'll turn the page on that one. We hope that it does well. Obviously, also Dark Horse. Hopefully that the print versions do well for us also.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll turn the page on that topic. We will stop here just to remind you to stop at our physical locations. We have one in downtown Frederick, Maryland. If you're looking for a day trip, if you're looking to do some restaurant hopping, some brewery hopping, some candy store hopping, some record store hopping. There's a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah. Go see Sam at Record Exchange. Say hi.
That's the store you would want to go to. Not as wide of a selection as our Walkersville location. If you're looking for back issues, we have well over 100,000 back issues there. So it depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. So let's move on to the next topic. You and I are in several Facebook groups, and one of the topics discussed on there recently was the question of whether books are starting to see a price correction. I know you brought this one to my attention. You said that somebody had posted which book was it? It was
X-Men 1, I think.
X-Men 1?
Yeah.
Was it X-Men 1? I thought it was X-Men, or I thought it was Hulk 181.
I don't know.
It was because I thought, anyway.
It was a big key.
It was a big key, and the guy was asking $4,000 for it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like $3,000 or $4,000, yeah.
And people were blasting him, saying that, this only sells for $2,200 or something like that. So do you think we are going through a price correction right now?
I don't know if I'd call it a correction. I think that the industry is in a flux. Over the past year, 2 years, pricing has gone crazy. Books have gotten super, super expensive. I just don't think that it can sustain itself for that long. I think that's what we're seeing is maybe not a correction, but like a leveling off, a normaling, I guess, for lack of a better term. I also feel like it's coming with books that I think it's kind of opposite now, where there's a lot of new books that are insanely expensive and super sought after that there's no proven track record that these books are going to be worth the same or anywhere near amount that money in 10 years.
So some of the people responding to it, so the responses seem split, because some of the people were like, "You're crazy! It's not a $2,200 book. This is a $4,000 book," and and each one of them were providing evidence for what they were saying. The other thing is, you and I have talked about this. You own a business, I own a business. This time of the year also slows down for a lot of people because people are spending their money on vacations or.
We all know every Christmas you get stuff cheap.
Yeah. Or back to school.
Or back to school. Yeah. Anytime people need money, they start, selling things off.
Yeah, and they sell it for a little bit less than what they normally would because they just need the money. Money in hand is better than not. So. So like I said, there could be a lot of things playing into this. This is that time of the year where things tend to slow down a little bit. I think people were expecting the convention season to start causing it to go into hyperdrive here soon, but now with the rise in COVID cases, like perhaps we're not going to see those conventions that we thought we were going to see.
It's unfortunate. I miss conventions.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you agree with that assessment also, though?
Yeah, I think those are all factors in it. I also feel like at some point people just aren't going to pay the prices for books. I think in the last 10 years or so, we've noticed that there are certain internet sites, auction houses that kind of dictate the pricing on markets where before it was, Overstreet and stuff like that.
Terrible social media influencers.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a lot of outside influencing what is worth money, quote unquote, now. And I think the industry and the collecting market as a whole has kind of shifted to these new books, these variants and low print runs on, fifth printings of books and stuff like that. Those things are all crazy expensive now, and the books that should be expensive are kind of leveling off. I think a lot of the Silver Age, Copper Age stuff that, blasted off when COVID started is kind of leveling off and
yeah. Well, the thing is, so even if Giant Size, I think it was Giant Size X-Men. Now that I think
it might have been Giant Size X-Men. It was one of them.
Now that Giant Size, even if Giant Size X-Men is retreating a little bit, that movie is still coming for the.
And that book is always going to be a $high book. Yeah. I don't care if everybody in the world feels the way you do about X-Men and hates them. That is still going to be a book that's always expensive.
I agree.
Yeah.
They should hate it. So I'm joking.
It's okay.
Maybe other people like them. I tell people like everybody has different ice cream.
You'd like vanilla.
Very, very, well, I would, yeah.
Okay.
It would be a very boring world, was what I was going with.
It totally would be.
So we'll turn the topic on that one. We will come back to that one.
Doing right there again.
Topic. Marvel is teaming up with the NFL. Two great tastes, sports and comics, together again.
What was that look?
Super Pro is back. No.
The G-Men.
So they are putting out a comic book specifically with the New York Giants entitled The G-Men. It's going to co-star some of the Giant players. I won't say stars because I don't think that team has any stars.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't follow the sports balls?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
Yeah.
Will this have an impact on the market? No. Will it grow the market at all?
Probably not.
No.
I don't. Yeah. I think if you're a Giants fan, you might be into it. But other than that, I don't. This isn't like a Superman versus Muhammad Ali kind of situation. I don't feel like.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
So 30,000 copies are going to be
30
printed.
plus. I think it was like 33 or 34.
Because they're handing them out to the fans who attend the game. That's going to be October 24th versus Carolina. So I will say, I think it's going to be hard to find a near mint copy of that book.
Yeah. Because if you're going to the game with it, then I feel like there's going to be a lot of roached copies of that book running around.
Yeah.
It's not a low print run type thing. I think it's very situational. Like, I think I maybe would have backed it a little more if it was just like the NFL and maybe they did like whoever's
Super Pro.
Yeah, whoever's like big in the NFL. I can't even name I don't even know, man.
Tom Brady.
I guess, does he still play sports ball?
He just won a Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, cool. I haven't watched football in so long, man. If you want to talk about soccer, we can talk about that. But
please no.
We can talk about English football.
Please no.
You hate it. I don't think this is really going to affect the market in any way, shape, or form. I think
Soccer's
it's like
almost as boring as Mark Wade's writing.
Oh my goodness. So much hate. So much hate. I love it. Just let it flow through you. No effect on the market. None whatsoever, I don't feel like.
I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know. Just because there's a lot of people, like I said, when I started reading Death of Superman, the people thought that all the people coming in for that were just there for the event, and once the event was over, that they would leave. I'm not saying that 90% of them didn't leave, but it still had some people stick around and continue to collect.
I think it's gonna, you're gonna find it in a lot of like sports rooms and man caves in New York, like people, with a bunch of Giants memorabilia or whatever.
I think there's still a lot of completionists out there also, though, who are gonna want the book in terms of like on their walls, like people who want like almost every Marvel book. And if there's any sort of Marvel character that guest stars in it, people who are fans of those characters are gonna want that book as well.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like it's fun, I guess. But I don't see it being like a huge thing.
No.
30,000
is not a huge print run.
It's not a huge print run, but I think there's enough of it out there that like it's not going to be hard to get a hold of.
I will predict it's at least a $50 book.
I think you're crazy, but hey, I'll eat my words if it comes back. And
we'll have to come back to that one and see whether...
I'm not going to buy a copy or anything, but...
I might just make it $50 so I can see, look, it sold for $50.
Maybe. All right.
eBay, sir.
Right. Deal. I'll eat my words.
Why does it say Brainstorm on that purchase? Don't ask questions, Chris. Just...
It'll be that one book that's in my collection, like, I had to buy that, sorry. I talked too much shit and had to eat it.
So we'll turn the page on that topic, however, and we will move on to the next one. You and I were both excited about this one. Why the Last Man? Writer Brian K. Vaughan brought this to the comic book pages 20 years ago.
Yes.
It's coming to the television screen here very, very soon.
Yes.
After many issues in production, because they've had a lot of changes to showrunners and writers and such over that period. How excited are you after seeing the trailer for this? So, after you saw the trailer, what did you think, sir?
I'm excited. Why the Last Man is an amazing, amazing story. It was such a good book, and I just hope they don't screw it up.
Agent 355, one of my favorite characters in comics.
Oh, yeah. Ampersand.
It's
so good. So good. There's so much about that book that was amazing.
So for those of you who don't know, Why the Last Man is about a post-apocalyptic world. All of the men have died with exception of one.
Everything with a Y chromosome has died.
Every male. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it's about the repercussions from that. Mm-hmm. It is not a whole bunch of women sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya.
Nope. It is not.
It is not that kind of...
far, far from it.
People still have their own agendas, their own wants and desires.
Many agendas, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Roving bands of bandits.
And everybody wants Poor York.
And Ampersand. Don't forget about Ampersand.
Who cares about Ampersand?
Ampersand's the shit, man.
But no, this put Brian K. Vaughan on the map, leading to Pride of Baghdad, leading to Ex Machina.
So much good stuff. Yeah, why was such a great story?
Saga. Paper Girls. Brian K. Vaughan's probably the best writer in comics. In all honesty, I know I said it in the last video that it was...
I was going to say, everybody can't be the best, John.
that it was...
Although I back you on the Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah, totally.
There's only one book that he's written that I was ever kind of like, We Stand on Guard. I did not.
I don't think I read that one.
I would recommend you don't. It might ruin your opinion of...
I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to ruin my opinion of him. I just hope that they don't ruin the story. You know what I mean?
It's had a lot of showrunners, and so that makes me question things, and I'm hoping that...
I mean...
I thought it was supposed to be on FX or AMC. Apparently it's going to be on Hulu, though. That annoys me.
That doesn't so much annoy me.
I don't have Hulu. That's why it annoys me.
Oh, okay. Well, we can work that out. That's easy. That's an easy fix, John. How do you not have Hulu?
Because there's 1,000 streaming services.
And you should have 50 of them. I don't know, like everyone else. Yeah. I just hope they don't mess it up. And I think like the track record so far of people not messing with amazing stories is pretty good. If Sweet Tooth is any indication of them kind of doing good, I hope it goes in that direction.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's really good because this was I think the first Vertigo title I had read. Because I was reading it was coming out, I was pushing it pretty hard when it was coming out in the store.
Yeah. The premise was like weird to me at first. I was like, this doesn't make any sense, and then I read it and was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, this is super good. Yeah.
Yeah, he dealt with the repercussions and stuff very, very well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Here's hoping that it's very good. The trailer looked really good, so
I hate to have to burn down Hulu.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
So we will turn the page on that one. Once that one comes out, we will
turn the channel on that one.
Let's turn it to a channel I can actually watch. So much anger, John.
I think they give you like a week for free. Just sign up and then
watch it all and then cancel.
Totally. Yeah, do like everybody else does. It's fine.
We'll turn the page on that topic, and we'll move on to the next one. More books from the Promise Collection are coming up for sale at the Heritage Auctions in the near future. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, the Promise Collection, there were two brothers who were going to the Korean War. I think in the last video I said Vietnam War. It's the Korean War. And the one made the other one promise to take care of his comic books if he didn't return or what have you. And unfortunately, he did not return from the war. And his brother did take immaculate care
insanely immaculate care
of the books. So these are some of the highest graded books of that era. This is all from the 30s through the 50s, I think it was.
40s
through the 50s. How amazing is this collection?
It is amazing. It's amazing that it was kept in as pristine condition as it was. It's amazing it all stayed together for as long as it did. And I think the other cool thing, the other side note about it was they go through it a little bit in the story, was that I guess around that time, Superman was really popular. So he collected a lot of the other stuff that was out, which apparently was kind of rare and uncommon. So it's a glimpse at some other stuff that was going on around that time that there isn't a whole lot of left anymore.
Yeah, when we say high grade, we're talking like 8.0, 8.5, 9.0.
Yeah, that Amazing Fantasy is insane. Like, I can't believe that it was kept as well as it was. Yeah. It really is like a fluke, an anomaly. We'll never see it again, I don't feel like.
Yeah. So normally, I'm not going to lie to you. Normally, I'm against the pedigree books. I think it's silly to give them different pedigrees. This one I understand more than most of the other ones.
I feel like this is a very special case. Yeah. In a lot of ways, yeah.
I don't know how you feel about the different pedigrees that are out there. I think there's only a little under 40?
Yeah.
The Church collection being one of them.
Yeah, I
understand also though.
Yeah, I think it's just hard because there's so little of that stuff left, because it was sold to children, it was sold on newsstands, and it just got trashed. But having a little bit of that around, and especially in the condition that it is, it is special, and I think it should be treated specially. You know what I mean? I don't think we should treat every collection like that or every book or whatever, but I think in certain circumstances, this being one of them, that it's deserving of it, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, and the story behind it also.
Yeah, it's like, kind of brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah. So the first, like we said in the last one, the first 200 and some odd books sold for $7 million. Like, this collection overall is probably going to sell for over 100 million altogether.
It's a lot of money.
Because I think there's 3,000 books in the collection.
There's a lot too. It's a big collection.
Yeah.
It's not just one or two. It's so much.
So they sold 1/12 of the collection already. So like I said, it'll be approaching 100 million, I think. So
easy. Yeah. It's crazy. Take care of your books, guys.
A promise well kept for that guy.
Yeah, totally. That was cheesy, but I'll back it for this one.
Well, that's why it was named that, because of the promise.
Yeah.
So we'll turn the page on that one. We will keep checking in on the Promise collection, see what it sells for, and as it goes. Like I said, if you guys have not checked it out, go ahead and look at it.
It is a really cool story too.
but I mean, just looking at the condition of some of those books is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
I was trying to find something to close out on, but
Well, so you didn't have that in all your cards? That stack of index cards you brought with you today.
you gotta be prepared.
Your pro
You
notes.
gotta be prepared.
That's cool, man.
So, what do you guys think of the Scott Snyder deal? Do you think it's gonna be positive for the industry, negative for the industry? Is there a book that you're looking forward to? Let us know. If there's any topics you think we should discuss that we haven't discussed, let us know as well.
Feedback.
Yeah. So let's turn the page on that topic and go to our conclusion. We want to thank you for watching, and please, LCS, like, comment, and subscribe. Your local comic book shop, Brainstorm Comics and Gaming. You can click on the logo in the bottom right-hand corner. It will take you to the subscribe button and get you all signed up on the channel.
Buy more comics.
Have a good day.